from my side. Okay, and let me share the screen. Okay, fine, right? So now we are going to install the .NET Framework. How to install it? Go to the Server Manager. Okay, every software usually we are going to install using Server Manager only. Here, once you open Server Manager, you can see an option like this: Add roles and features. Select this option, Add roles and features. Okay, now just go next. Next again, nothing. This will be done by the again. This will be done by the Windows team only. Okay, what sir you are saying? Everything done by the Windows team only. Yes, initial configurations, everything will be done by the Windows team only. Our work is to install SQL Server and make sure before installing SQL Server, make sure the server is meeting minimum hardware and software requirements or not. Okay. If .NET Framework is not installed, you have to send a mail or raise a request to the Windows team. Please install .NET Framework on this server so that they will install the .NET Framework. Okay. Right. Next again. Go to next. These are the roles. Don't touch any roles and all. Go to next. .NET Framework, you can see in the features. Okay. If you see .NET Framework 3.5, .NET Framework 4.5, expand this triangle symbol, select all applicables. Okay. Select all under this triangle, what and all there. You will get a pop-up screen like this. Click on add feature. Okay. Non-HTTP activation. That's it. Okay. Go next. .NET Framework 4.5 is already selected. No issues for that. Next. Next again. Next, install. That's it. Nothing to do anything. Okay. Nothing to do. So here, final screen. Okay. Remember your .NET Framework software will be there in the Windows Server operating system software. Okay. Your .NET Framework software will be there in the Windows Server operating system software. So yesterday we have attached Windows operating system, right? Windows operating system ISO image, right? Yesterday we have attached Windows operating system ISO image, right? So you have to, okay, here it is showing nothing, right? It is only showing D drive. Okay, make sure you attach the software CD again. Okay, make sure you attach the software CD again. Storage. Okay, where is my Windows? Yes, this is my Windows. Okay, right? You can access from here also. Select the machine. You can access what and all values you want to change. Sometimes you can access from here also. Storage, or else if you want to understand, right click, settings. Okay, go to again storage and empty. Okay, select the CD and select Windows Server 2012. Click OK. Okay, and check whether your machine got the, okay, this is direct connection and this is remote connection. Yes, now 2012 is attached. Earlier it is empty CD. Now you can see. So my software is there in the D drive. Okay, D drive. Okay, what is the path here? If you see, click on export configuration settings. Here you see one, oh sorry, not this one. Specify an alternate source path. Okay, select this one. Okay, if you see, your software will be there in the sources folder, SXS folder. Okay, in the D drive, sources. If you open D drive, okay, it is, sorry, don't double click on it, right click, open it. Okay, right click, open. Okay, sources folder, here SXX. Okay, here your .NET Framework software files are there. So what you have to do, simply copy it, copy this path. Okay, paste it here. That's it. If you still have confusion, if you see here, E colon sources SXS is there, right? Remove this drive letter E and your software is there in the D drive letter, right? Place D. That's it. Remaining everything is same. Sources backslash SXS. That's it. Click OK. Okay, now you have to install. Otherwise, if you don't follow this step, your installation will be failed. Okay, make sure you have to map your Windows operating system in the .NET Framework installation setup. Clear? Any issues, any doubts? Okay. We'll wait for 2 minutes. Okay, it will take 2 minutes time. If you see in the .NET 3.5, inbuilt .NET 2.0, 3.0 are inbuilt. Okay, so no need to install again this 2.0, 3.0 and all. Those are all inbuilt. Okay, so automatically it will come once you install your .NET Framework 3.5. For SQL Server versions less than 2012, no need to install .NET Framework separately. Why? Because for SQL Server versions less than 2012, like 2000, 2005, 2008, 8 or 2, .NET Framework 2.0, 3.0 is needed. But .NET Framework 2.0, 3.0 will be already installed in the server. Once you install operating system, already it will come with a .NET Framework 2.0, 3.0. So less than SQL Server 2012, no need to install .NET Framework. Your SQL Server version is 2012 or more than 2012, you have to install .NET Framework manually. But again, it is not your task in the organization. You have to raise a request. Okay, Windows team will take care of it. And of course, they will be ready. They will install everything, whatever software is needed. Of course, .NET Framework is a minimum software requirement for for most of the applications. So they are going to install it. No need to worry about it. Okay, but you have to check whether it was installed or not. Right. So we'll go with the process now. I want to install a SQL Server. What will be the process in the organization? What is meant by ticket? What is meant by request? How to start installations and all. Okay, so if you see, it was successfully installed. Okay, installation succeeded on this machine. Okay, just click close. Okay, now .NET Framework has been successfully installed on this machine. Right, so now before installing our SQL Server, we'll go with the process. Okay, SQL Server installation, I guess you people have some idea. At least some of you, I have already installed SQL Server. But before installing SQL Server, we have to follow some process. Okay, organizational process will be there. You have to follow that process. If you don't follow that process and all, it will create a lot of issues. Okay, so usually you will get a ticket to install SQL Server in the organization. What is the process? This is called ITIL process. Okay, this is called ITIL process. ITIL process. Okay, usually you will get a ticket. Hey, so and so. Okay, hey Ashwin, please install SQL Server in this machine. Like that, you will get a request using ServiceNow. Ticketing tools will be there. The customer, if in the organization, if customer has some requirement, they are not going to simply send you the mail. Okay, please check this, please check that, please create that. That is not the recommended way in the organization. Some people will send it, but it's not a recommended way. So people will raise a tickets, what we can call tickets. Ticket means simply a request. See, for example, if your internet is not working, you will call to ISP, internet service provider. Hey, my internet is not working. Then they will give you one case ID, right? One ID will be there. Okay, maybe something like 213056, like that. This is your ID. Until your issue resolves, okay, everything will be tracked with this ID only. Okay, so and so Ashwin internet is not working. What is the steps you did? Okay, engineer went to his home. He did something. He rebooted the modem. Then internet came to online. Like that, every step will be recorded in that ticket. That is called a ticket. One request. You will buy online, right? You will do online shopping. Okay, so order ID. You will get order ID, right? So everything will be tracked by that order ID. Okay, so what and all you have ordered, what is the address location, how you did the payment and all, whether it was delivered, what is the status, the shipping, out of delivery, out for delivery. So this kind of status will be tracked with the help of that order ID, right? So every request will be tracked with the help of the tickets. That is called a ticket. Okay, we'll raise the ticket. Customer will raise the ticket. Hey Ashwin, please install SQL Server in this machine. So before raising this ticket, actually what they will do, they will contact Windows team, okay, and they will make the server ready. That customer, user, anything we can call. They will make the machine ready. Once machine is ready, they will install the SQL Server. Or else sometimes it will go like this. A common ticket will be raised for all of the teams. Okay, what and all process we have followed till now before installing SQL Server? We have created virtual machine, right? Then we have installed Windows operating system, right? Then we have did some network settings, right? Then finally we have installed .NET framework, right? Then we are going to install the SQL Server. These are the phases. So customer will raise a common ticket, okay, task or ticket. We are going to call it as a task or ticket. First, this task will goes to VM team. First, this task will goes to VM team. They will create virtual machine. Okay, then the same task will goes to Windows team. They will install Windows operating system. Okay, right? Then it will go to network team. Once it was completed, they will update the status. Then it will go to network team. Network team will enable some settings. They will open some ports. Okay, they will create firewall rules and all. Something different they are going to do it. Okay, network team will assign the remote desktop connections. They are going to, okay, configure the remote desktop connections and all. Okay, then finally here Windows team will install a .NET framework as well. Once they installed that OS, they will install the prerequisite softwares on that machine. Then finally the ticket will comes to SQL DBA Okay, finally the ticket will comes to SQL DBA. Then you have to take that machine, you have to connect to that machine remotely. Then you have to check whether prerequisites are there or not. Once every prerequisite is there, you can install the SQL Server. And once it was successfully installed, you have to configure it. Once you have completed the installation and configuration, you can close this ticket. Why? Because this is the final output. They need SQL Server. For that they should have Windows Server. Okay, so the ticket already went to the VM team. Sometimes VM team and Windows team both are same. Okay, VM team only, Windows team only take care of VM team as well, VM responsibilities as well. So Windows team only will create virtual machine. They will only install Windows operating system, .NET framework, everything. Then it will go to network team. Then finally it will come to SQL DBAQ. Then anyone, if you are there in the shift, if the ticket comes to you, you have to pick the ticket and you have to install it. But again, the organization, usually most of the organization will follow, okay, this method. Okay, they will have two teams: engineering team, operations team. Engineering team, operations team. Okay, engineering team, installations, configurations, uninstallations, decommissions. Okay, this will be done by the engineering team. Operations team, any issues, incidents, okay, troubleshooting kind of steps will be there, right? Any issues and all, if anything is not working, so that will be taken care by the operations teams. Okay, so either you can be a part of operations team, or else you will be a part of engineering team. If you are a part of engineering team, you have to install SQL Server, configure SQL Server. So you have to tell these kind of things in the introduction session. If you are going to any interviews and all, you have to tell these things, so that they will easily understand, okay, this person is having some real-time experience and all. So that's why I'm explaining each and everything. Okay, don't think like I'm wasting time and all. Why I'm explaining each and everything, these are very important terminologies, okay, which will help you in cracking the interviews and all, right? Fine, finally the ticket comes to you, you have to take care of the ticket. Okay, in the ticket they will attach installation document or build document, build sheet. We are going to call it as a build sheet. in that build sheet they will mention each and everything what and all you have to select. Like it will be, this build sheet will be prepared by the DBS only. Okay, what option you have to select, even though if you don't know anything in the organization, you know, for every process there will be build sheets, everything build sheets. Mostly if it is following the procedure, then your organization will have, okay, the document for doing each and everything. Okay, but some organizations will not follow, some organization will follow. So simply we have to open build sheet, and what and all we have to select, what options we have to select, you can easily check with the screenshots, it will be there. Simply you have to go through it. Sometimes users also will give you their own inputs and all. Okay, you have to select this collation setting, or you have to select this thing and all. Okay, like that they will ask you, so simply we have to modify as per their requirements and all. This is the process of installing the SQL Server. Okay, right? Any issues in the process? Okay, fine, right. So if no
Yes.
issues, yeah, right. So we'll go for the SQL Server installation. Now .NET Framework also successfully installed, right? Now we'll go for the SQL Server installation, right? So what you have to do, first of all, you have to attach the SQL Server software, or you have to copy the SQL Server software. In the organization, we will have shared paths, all the SQL Server software, service packs, everything, what and all required things for DBA team, they will create one shared folder, and they will put everything in that shared folder. That shared path will be accessible from any of the servers. If it is not accessible, you have to raise a request to the Windows team. Windows team or network team will take care of it. They will make that path accessible from that new server. Sometimes it will not accessible. Why? Because that is new server, right? New server, they may give, they may not give and all. So you have to raise a request. They will make that path is accessible from that new server. So from that path you have to open that path, and you have to copy the software from that path to that server, and you can start installing. But here I am not going to do anything like that. Simply I'll attach the SQL Server ISO image. How to attach it? Can anyone tell me how to attach the software? You people are following me since one and a half week, right? So can anyone tell me how to attach the software now to the virtual machine?
Patching.
Patching. Just now
In set,
we have discussed.
in
Sorry.
settings.
Okay, in settings, where I have to go.
Yes.
Okay, here. Okay, storage, like how you attach your Windows Server software. In the same way, we are going to attach the.
Storage.
So in the same way, we are going to attach the SQL. Any software, any ISO image, we have to attach like that only. Go to storage, select this Windows software. Okay, now select your SQL Server 2000. So in your case, I gave you software links, right? Let me open that software links. People may confuse in downloading it. Okay, this is the document I have shared with you. Okay, each one will contain one software. Okay, up to HTTPS. Okay, so this is one link. Copy it, open in the browser. Okay, open this link in the browser. Then it will open. Okay, in the Google Drive. Okay, these are the Google Drive links. Just paste it, hit enter. Okay, these are the SQL Server softwares. For 2012, you can see here, right? SQL Server 2012, you can see 2017, you can see 2019, you can see. Don't share with anyone, okay? Don't share with anyone, please. Right? And you can see all the SQL Server softwares here. Right click on it, download it. Right click, you can see download it. Okay, like this, you can download. You can download 2012, 17, 19, and all. And the second link, if you go with the second link, okay, that may be a Windows servers, I guess. Let me copy paste, Control V, enter. Okay, so this is your Windows Server 2012. Okay, this is your Windows Server 2012. Right click on it, again download. And again we have one more link. Okay, third link, Control C, Alt Tab, Control V, enter. Okay, right? You can see this is the VirtualBox software. If you are people having any trouble in installing VirtualBox software, okay, then you can right click, You can copy that link and you can download this VirtualBox software. In the same way, you can download other files as well. What are these files? Let me check. Control C. I guess these are for SQL 2017 and 19. Okay, this is for SQL 2014. Okay, if anyone needed 2014 and all, you can download this 2014 software. Okay, this is for 2014. And what is this for? Of course, this is 2017 again, but you can get this 2017 and 2019. This is 2017, this is 2019, but you can get these two software by using this link. Okay, no need to worry. So in this way, you can download each software. Okay, right? Please, if you, anyone don't download, download it and put in a separate folder. Don't keep it in a downloads and all. Maintain separate specific folders for everything. It will be easily accessible for you, so that it will create interest for you. Okay, if you simply put somewhere, okay, then okay, after 2 months or 3 months, if you try to install it again, you don't know where it is. So by the time, by searching that file, your interest will be gone. That's it. Okay, again next year only you will take care of it. Right, so put it in a separate folder, maintain a separate folder. It will helpful for you. Right, select this CD. Already Windows 2012 is selected and it was already okay attached. So I want to change it to SQL Server 2012. Browse it. Okay, browse it. I have already attached SQL 2012, so I am getting in the drop down list. But what you have to do, choose a virtual disk optical file. Okay, if you select 1 minute, choose a disk file. Okay, choose a disk file, then it will open like this. Where is your downloaded software is there, simply go to the downloaded software and you can attach it. Okay, now I am going to SQL servers, SQL server 2012. Okay, and SQL server 2012 enterprise edition. Okay, you can see here ENT means enterprise edition. Click OK. Now I have attached my SQL server 2012 software to this machine. Right, so now if you see the C drive and all D drive, okay, if you see the D drive, now if you see it was changed to SQL software. Earlier Windows operating system is there in this drive, now it was changed to SQL software. Right, fine, now you can open, don't double click on it, don't double click on it. Okay, just open it. Now you can see setup file. Here you can see setup file. Right, this is your application setup file. Right click on it. I told you, right, you have to open all setup files with run as administrator. Not only SQL Server installation, while doing patching, upgradation, everything, you have to open exe files, .exe files with run as administrator. It will fix you lot of issues. Okay, don't forget this point. Right, you will get a screen like this. Okay, fine. So what you will do, go to installation page. So planning page means these are the different pages. We are going to call this as a page, PSG page. Okay, planning page. It will tell you what are hardware and software requirements, security documentation, online releases, everything. It will tell you in the planning page. Installation will help you to install the SQL Server. Maintenance will help you. Okay, in addition upgradation, if you want to repair the instance and all, if you want to remove the server from the cluster and all, it will help you. Okay, tools and all, if you have extra. Okay, system configuration checker, installation, SQL Server discovery report and all. These are the different tools. Resources, under resources you can find the books online, help documents, everything you can find in the resources. Okay, advanced. Okay, advanced means we can install SQL Server in multiple ways. Okay, slipstream installation, sysprep installation and all. So in such case you can use this option. Okay, INA based installation. Okay, under sysprep installation, like this you can select different options and all, but you are not going to use it. Usually in the organization we are going to, okay, install SQL Server in GUI method only. Remember, we can install SQL Server in 5 to 6 methods. GUI method, unattended method means query method, INI file based method. Okay, that is also same as query method. And slipstream installation method, you can install SQL Server and service pack at a time. Okay, that is slipstream installation. Sysprep installation can be done by two parts, off parts. First part can be done by the Windows team, second part can be done by the SQL team, that is sysprep installation. And again finally you can install SQL Server using a PowerShell scripts also. So in this way we can install SQL Server in 6 ways, but usually in the organization will follow only one way, that is GUI way. Okay, graphical user interface. Right, so for that what you have to do, go to installation center. Go to installation page. If you see here, you can see first option called new SQL Server standalone installation. Standalone installation means simply if you are installing a SQL Server on a normal machine, that is called standalone installation. If you are installing SQL Server on a normal machine, that is called standalone installation. If you are installing SQL Server on a cluster machine, cluster environment, that is called cluster installation. That you can achieve by using this link, cluster installation, SQL Server failover cluster installation. Okay, so we don't have cluster setup and all, right? Cluster setup that will be discussed, okay, almost all at the end of the course. Okay, right? So we have to install SQL Server on a standalone instance, right? Click on this option. Right, so these are the support rules. It will check whether this system is eligible to install the SQL Server or not. If you click on show details, all checks should be success, or else warning is also fine. But errors, if any check is failed, even if one check is failed, you cannot proceed for the installation. Remember, even if one check is failed, you cannot proceed for installation. Warning is fine, okay, but either passed or it should be warning, but it shouldn't failed. Even one check is also failed, it will not allow you. Simply this OK button will be grayed out. If it is grayed out, you cannot proceed further, right? So I just clicked on OK button. If you don't install .NET framework and all, usually that .NET framework will be okay, disabled. That .NET framework not disabled, it will be failed. That step will be failed. So what you have to do, simply you have to install .NET framework again, right? Fine, this is the product key. Okay, nothing to do here, just go next. If you want to install free editions and all, you can go back here. You can select a specific free edition. Either you can go with express edition or evaluation edition if you want to install free editions. If you want to go for enterprise edition, click on this enter product key, then go next. For every software, I accept license terms will be there. Select this I accept license terms, go next. Okay, this is the update. Okay, this is the update on SQL Server 2012. Okay, in the organization, remember one thing, in the organization, servers don't connect to the internet. In the organization, servers don't connect to the internet. They are connected to the intranet only. Internet, intranet, both are different. If your machine is connected to the public network, that is internet. Okay, if the machines are connected internally, that is intranet. Okay, so uncheck this one. Why? Because if you have internet, then only it will download it and it will update it. So but I don't have internet, and usually in the organization, servers don't have internet, right? So that's why I'm unchecking it, so it is not going to update, and go next. Okay, so again some checks are came. If you see here, Windows firewall, right? Warning, but it is allowing us to go to next. But if it is a error and all, error means you will get a red cross mark. Okay, red cross mark you will get. Okay, so if you see here, passer 7 failed 0, warning 1, failed shouldn't be there, failed even 1 is also there, it will not go next. Okay, so simply go next. Okay, so SQL Server feature installation only, nothing to select here, just go to next. Right, setup roles. Right, this is very important screen. What and all features we want to install? I told you right yesterday, components of the SQL Server. Okay, SQL Server database engine service, which is heart and brain, everything of SQL Server. Okay, data processing, storing, retrieving, everything will be done by the database engine only. So database engine is compulsory. Okay, you have to select database engine feature. Replication is one more feature, you have to select it. Okay, and full text is going to help you out for the searching the data and all. Okay, you have to select these three specific features. This is common. I told you, if customer is needed extra features like analysis services, reporting services and all, these are the add-ons. Okay, if they want, they will mention in the build sheet. You have to simply select the analysis services and reporting services. If they didn't mention in the build sheet, no need to select these features. These are the specific features. Okay, these are the shared features. Remember one thing, shared features you will install only for the first time. Next time if you want to install another instance or SQL Server, both are same. Next time if you want to install another instance, no need to select the shared features as it is already installed. Okay, shared features you will only install for the first time. So if I ask you a question, how many instances I can install in a machine?
Can install multiple instances.
Multiple instance, very good answer, but how many?
50.
Yes, okay. Don't say multiple instances. Yes, of course, multiple instances only, but that is a logical answer. Okay, you have to be clear. How many instances means 49 plus 1. We can install 50 instances in a machine. 50. Okay, you can install 50 instances in a machine. Instances means SQL servers.
And
Sorry, your voice is a little bit low.
name. Hello,
Yeah, yeah.
Shenmukh.
Yeah, tell me.
Named instance. Named instances, no.
49 named instance, one default instance.
Default instances.
Yes, I'll tell you. Okay, we have that step. Okay, I'll tell you. 49 named instances, one default instance. Okay, so in SQL Server, we can install 50 instances, means 50 SQL Server softwares in one Windows machine or one Windows box. We can install 50 machines, 50 SQL instances. In the 50 SQL instances, okay, 49 are named instances. Okay, then one is default instance. I'll tell you what is this default instance, what is this named instance and all. Okay, right, so total 50 instances we can install. Okay, so if you install the shared features once, next time if you are again installing one more instance, no need to select the shared features. Why? Because those are the shared features, right? Remember, so what and all shared features we usually install, right? So these are the shared features here. SQL Server data tools, client tools, sorry, not data tools, I'm sorry, client tools connectivity, client tools backward compatibility. If customer is asking integration services, you have to select integration services here. Okay, you cannot see integration service is not a specific service, integration service is a shared service. Okay, client tools, whatever client tools you can see, you have to select client tools connectivity, client tools backward compatibility, client tools SDK. Documentation means help documents. Management tools means your management studio, configuration manager, these are the things. Okay, SQL client connectivity SDK, that's it. These are the main shared features you have to select. Of course you have to remember it, or else in the build sheet they are going to mention the shared features as well. Okay, don't expect in every organization you will find the build sheet. If you selected for any startup companies, you have to prepare your own build sheet. Okay, so that's it, you have to select these are the shared features. Next time if you see, these will be disabled, grayed out, you cannot select. Why? Because that is already installed, shared features. Okay, right, fine, you can go next. right? Just go next. One check is there, it was successful. Visual Studio, you can go next. Right, so you can see now the screen, default instance, named instance. What is the difference between default and named instance? Right, default instance, both are functionality wise, both are same. There is no difference at all. Okay, functionality wise, both instances are same. There is no difference at all. Okay, how default instance work, named instances also work in the same way, but naming wise it will be different. Okay, naming wise it will be different. Default instance usually follows computer name. Okay, how to connect to the default instance? You can connect to the default instance by using computer name. It will accept computer name. Okay, so is it compulsory to install default instance? Can anyone tell me yes or yes, no, maybe? Is it compulsory to install default instance?
As our wish. If we can install with name and we can install with default instance also.
Okay, okay, very good. Okay, so let me close this session. Okay, and this is showing less than 1 minute. Let me reopen it again. Okay, please connect immediately.